Mr. Death, Dr. Demise, Surgeon Slice. You'll die really slow if you don't appreciate life. You're whack if you don't appreciate knives. The way a knife slices precise is tripe, it's a demonic device. The chronic you light, inhale. For those in jail, to those that beef getting paid.
Hi, I'm Dave Martin, and I'm reporting from Suffolk County of Long Island, otherly known as Suburbia. New York State has a largely increasing gang problem, and not just in the urban areas anymore. Throughout all of New York, gang crimes have increased at an alarming rapid rate. As a chief commissioner of police once stated, all gang problems are local in nature, and I will be investigating how, over the last 20 years, gang public policies or New York State law has changed to try to prevent their recruiting and also the increasing violence that they spread. Well, this is Dave signing off. East Side. Hi, I'm Dave Martin, and I'm with Detective Downs from New York City and the Long Island Nassau County Police Department. Alright, how many years did you work as New York City and Nassau County detective?
20 years I worked.
What was your main position while there?
My main position was a detective in the crime scene unit where I went and I investigated gang crimes, murders, robberies, assaults, rapes. I went to all the scenes, collected evidence, and did a reconstruction of every scene to figure out how it happened and why it happened.
Cool. What type of gang crimes did you encounter while in the department?
Most of the gangs crimes that I observed were crimes that were very serious in nature. They were
goes there, the element of surprise. Recognize my terrorist threats. Others be making ass bets with bounce checks. Credit card scammers, what I examine. Afflicting words causing vocal famine. Letting loose, direct loose with neck noose. Tied and overhanging, participle supplying and slanging. For bionics and phonics, syllables are left dripping with blood puddles. Turning nouns and adjectives to rubble and debris. Emergency shock therapy, my remedy recipe for an immune deficiency. Take two of me and call me in the morning. Bright and early now to receive a daily warning. I got your hook, line and sinker with no bait. I make you salivate, pulmonaries palpitate from an increasing heart rate. When I aggravate your attempt at an assault, see the front lines of landmines down to a halt with extortion.
A lot more jail time than you did in the past. A lot of times these crimes are now being prosecuted not just in Suffolk and Nassau County courts, but they're raising the crimes and the prosecutions into the federal courts, where the sentences are a lot longer and stiffer.
So this would apply to racketeering?
Yes. They just recently in Central Islip, I testified in a case where there was a murder of a gang member, and they had committed other shootings in that same night. It was in Hempstead, and they made some arrests through forensics because we had on file ballistic evidence that matched a gun of somebody they had in custody, and we were able to prosecute this group of people as committing a racketeering offense, which is organized crime, and they got sentenced to 67 years to life.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Over these 20 years, did you notice any increase or decrease in gang recruiting or gang-related violence?
Yes, there's a definitely increase in gang recruiting and gang violence. Apparently, some people who don't have any direction in life, or perhaps they don't have positive role models, can easily fall into gang activity, because if you join a gang, now you have these friends, but they're really not your friends. A lot of times, even these members of your own gang will commit offenses against you, assault you, rob you, and steal you. Even these girls that are getting involved in gangs often get assaulted and sexually assaulted too, just to be part of the gang.
So do you believe any of these new changes are intimidating any of these gang members? Do you believe they accurately know what they're facing?
I think what you're going to see is more law enforcement and maybe a lot of plainclothes cops getting involved in these communities that have a lot of gangs, making a lot of arrests, finding out who they are, getting them fingerprinted, because a lot of these people are illegal citizens here in this country, and it's hard to even locate them or find out who they are, even if you do have physical evidence at the scene. So you're going to see a lot more law enforcement, a lot tougher in arrests and enforcement of anything related to gang activity.
I see you brought here some pictures of some cases you worked on.
Yes, I brought a lot of pictures. Some of the pictures I appeared in, this one I was taking fingerprints. This is a gang member that was killed, and he was placed in the trunk of a automobile and left on a street. And we later found out that he testified against another gang member at a previous date, and they killed him as a punishment for doing that. So again, even if you're in the same gang, it could ultimately lead to, violence against yourself. That's why, I just hope that if kids are approached in high school or even younger to join gangs, to tell somebody about it.
Thank you. This is just a picture of how vicious some of these crimes can end up.
Hold it right there.
Alright. Well, I'd like to thank you for your time here.
No problem.
You're a great speaker.
Okay, David.
Thanks.
Take care. Good luck.
Thank you. Yeah. Good. So in conclusion, I've found that gang rates are still on a steady incline, but the government has still made a strong stance to decrease these heavy statistics. This has been a Martin's production for show. Antonucci for life. Peace. I'm out.
I'm a hustler, homie. I'm a hustler.
I guess I got a gambling problem. You scramblers can't handle the problem. Stop. I win a lot when I bet, so I spin a lot. The rocks on my neck, they weigh more than a cinder block. To move forward, I had to guard and defend the rock. And I got more blocks than a synagogue. Shaq